Happy New Year, everyone. Today's booster is taking flight for its 4th time. It previously supported the GPS-3 Service Vehicle 3 mission in July 2020, as well as 2 Starlink missions, one in September 2020 and one a month later in October 2020. Falcon 9's first stage is responsible for accelerating the vehicle all the way to the edge of space, after which it will separate from the second stage, carrying that Turksat 5A satellite. And once separation is complete, we will attempt to recover the first stage on our drone ship for the 4th time. That drone ship you can see on your screen, known as Just Read the Instructions, is currently holding position in the Atlantic Ocean a couple hundred miles off the coast of Florida. And if we stick that landing today, for those of you keeping score, it's going to be SpaceX's overall 71st successful booster recovery. Above the second stage, at the top of the rocket, you see a nose cone-shaped object. We call this particular assembly the payload fairing, 5 meters diameter, 13 meters tall. This fairing houses today's satellite. The fairing is designed to protect the satellite from aerodynamic heating, loads, and any kind of atmospheric contamination during ascent. Reach the vacuum of space, the payload will no longer need this protection. We're then going to jettison the fairing halves, and the second stage will continue with the satellite to its targeted drop-off orbit for deployment. Both fairing halves were used during today's mission. They've been flown for the 2nd time each. One half previously flew on the July 2020 Anasis 2 mission, and the other previously flew on that June 2020 GPS-3 Service Vehicle 3 mission. And following the deployment of today's payload, we'll attempt to only catch one fairing half in the air with our recovery vessel Miss Chief, while Miss Tree, the other vessel, will retrieve the other through from the water, what we call a wet recovery.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
We throttle those engines down, and afterwards we throttle them back up to keep dynamic pressures below a certain level.
Falcon 9 is supersonic. Max Q.
We've successfully crossed the max Q threshold.
Stage separation confirmed.
And you saw there, we just jettisoned our 2 fairing.
Stage 1 entry burn startup. Stage 1 entry burn shutdown. Stage 1 landing burn, sorry.
Our landing burn has started. Our second engine is also cut off, as you can see. We're just awaiting confirmation of good orbital insertion. And back on sea level, you can see here the drone ship. We have confirmation of good orbit on the second stage, and looks like we have a good landing on the drone ship as well. Now we're coming up on the second burn of that upper stage engine in a little more than 60 seconds. Currently, the flight computer is commanding the settling thrusters to turn on and off, and it releases nitrogen gas that helps lightly push the stage and allows propellant to stay at the bottom of the tank above the engine. One thing to mention here is that the ground station over Gabon at the minute is down, so we won't be able to provide any visual views or have any confirmation. And currently we do expect for that second engine start, SES-2, to occur. At this point, the nominal burn duration is 70 seconds. Currently that second stage is traveling almost 8,000 meters per second. This burn is going to add another 2,000 meters per second to the Falcon 9 speed before it shuts down for a second time. And at this point, we expect for a second engine cutoff 2 to occur. Like I mentioned before, the ground station over Gabon in Central Africa is down at the moment. However, the Falcon 9 second stage is an incredibly reliable vehicle, and we trust those events are occurring at those nominal callouts. But we will come back after our next coast phase and have some information when we're over the next ground station and give you more information. And as a reminder, the Turksat 5A satellite is still attached to that second stage. The stage is now going to start a slow spin, kind of like a football, that helps stabilize the satellite when it's released. This transition is going to take 5 more minutes, and satellite separation is expected to occur at T plus 33 minutes and 4 seconds.
Payload deploy confirmed.
And you can see it. We have confirmation of successful payload separation of the Turksat 5A satellite, and that will now bring today's webcast coverage to a close. The first launch for 2021. Have a great evening.